Governor Matawale sends delegation to assess the level of damage in Zurumi flood. President Buhari orders compulsory use of face masks nationwide. Military speaks on alleged Al-Qaeda ISIS inroad into Nigeria. On business, Northwest farmers back to work amid troops operations. And on the international scene, stranded Nigerian student in Saudi Arabia blame embassy for order. Welcome to Svtv News. I am Musa Joy Unyoza. Zamfara State Government delegation led by the Speaker Zamfara State House of Assembly Alhaji Nasiru Magaria and Special Advisor on Humanitarian and Disaster Management Haji Afaika Mohammed arrived at Zurumi local government area to assess the level of damage caused by the flood. This was contained in a statement signed by the Senior Special Assistant to Zamfara State Governor Abdullahi Awad Tahiru, dated 6 August 2020. The team leader conducted on-the-spot assessment and condoled the families of the affected victims, especially those that lost their properties. Governor Abubakar Atiku Bagudu of Kebbi State has commended traditional rulers for facilitating smooth and successful implementation of government programs and policies. The governor made a commendation at the palace of the Emir of Gwandu Alhaji Muhammadu Ilyasu when the Emirs of Kano and Bichi paid homage to the Gwandu monarch this Thursday. This was contained in a statement signed by the Chief Press Secretary, Government House, Abubakar Mazu, dated August 6, 2020. Senator Abubakar Atiku Bagudu said his administration will continue to accord due respect to traditional institutions to strengthen their role as custodian of culture and tradition of the people. President Muhammadu Buhari has directed state government and the federal capital territory to enforce the use of face masks in public places across the country. The Chairman Presidential Task Force on COVID-19, Mr. Boss Mustafa, made this known at the daily briefing on Tuesday in Abuja. Boss Mustafa, while reviewing the activities of the committee, said the President also approved that the current phase of the national response to COVID-19 should be maintained for another 4 weeks, but with some modifications. President Buhari also asked the PTF to partner with state and local government to improve community sensitization and engagement to step up response to COVID-19 response. Governor Bala Mohammed of Bauchi State has appointed Balarebe Ibrahim as his special assistant on women affairs. The appointment letter dated August 4, 2020 was signed by the Secretary to the State Government Mohammed Baba. The letter obtained by Sahara reporters conveyed the approval of the governor for the appointment as Special Assistant to Women Affairs. The appointment is based on the knowledge, experience, and personal qualities of hard work, honesty, and absolute loyalty. The Kogi State government on Thursday commenced the fumigation of its schools ahead of resumption of students for exit classes on August 10th in the state. Addressing journalists at Crowder Memorial College, Lokoja, to launch the exercise, the State Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology, Wemi Jones, commended the governor for his proactiveness in dealing with the coronavirus pandemic. He said Governor Yahaya Bello had always been proactive in the issues of the pandemic, saying the fumigation exercise is a continuation of how proactive the governor has been. This has been the reason the state did not suffer the devastation of COVID-19 like other states. The Defense Headquarters has allayed fears of Nigerians over alleged plans by Al-Qaeda and ISIS to make an inroad into southern Nigeria and penetrate the northwestern part of the country. The coordinator Defense Media Operation John Eneche, a Major General, while answering questions from journalists at the update briefing on military operations across the country on Thursday in Abuja, said there was nothing to fear about the claim. The U.S. had said Al-Qaeda and ISIS were looking to make an inroad into southern Nigeria and that Al-Qaeda had started penetrating the northwestern part of the country. The commander of the U.S. Special Operations Command Africa, Dagvin Anderson, made a claim in a digital briefing on Wednesday. Victor Edoro and the 17th members-elect of the Edo State House of Assembly have been sworn in by Deputy Clerk of the Edo Assembly. Victor Edoro emerged Speaker of the Edo State House of Assembly, and 17 members were sworn in as lawmakers in Edo State. The event took place at an undisclosed location within Benin City, following the destruction of the Assembly complex on the alleged orders of Governor Godwin Obaseki. Out of the 17 lawmakers, 14 are members-elect who were previously bypassed when the governor proclaimed the assembly in a controversial manner that saw the inauguration of 10 members of the 14-member House. 3 lawmakers loyal to the Obaseki cause recently dumped the governor, pledging loyalty to the APC and its governorship candidate, Pastor Sage Zeyamu, refusing to decamp to the PDP with Obaseki. The number of coronavirus infections in Nigeria exceeded 45,000 on Thursday after 354 new cases were found in the nation in the past 24 hours, authorities have said. The latest figure out of the lowest in over 2 weeks, bringing the total number of infections in the country to 45,244 according to the Nigerian Center for Disease Control, NCDC. The update came barely hours after the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 approved the gradual reopening of international flights and train services across the country. It was part of the decisions reached at the end of the second extension of the second phase of eased lockdown, which was renewed a third time by another 4 weeks by the PTF. No fewer than 9 people died in a boat mishap that occurred in Brijingo village, Goronyo local government area of Sokoto State. The police public relations officer in Sokoto, Mohammed Sadiq, an assistant superintendent of police, confirmed the incident to the news agency of Nigeria on Thursday. According to Mr. Sadiq, the accident occurred on Wednesday. The number of passengers traveling in the boat has yet to be ascertained, as a search team is still working to recover other victims' body. Immediately the accident occurred, many of the passengers were rescued, and 3 bodies were later recovered. Alright viewers, we're going to a short commercial break, and when you come back, Standard Voice Television News continues. Welcome back on Business. Aguirre has more detail.
Welcome to Standard Voice Business Update. The Defense Headquarters says farmers in the northwestern part of the country have returned to their farms as the troops of the Armed Forces of Nigeria have continued clearance operation in the zone. The coordinator, Defense Media Operations, John Eneche, a Major General, disclosed this while giving updates on military operation across the country on Thursday in Abuja. Mr. Eneche said troops scaled up kinetic and non-kinetic operations in general areas of Katsina, Zamfara, Sokoto, and adjoining states, leading to gradual restoration of overall human activities in the zone. He said activities of armed bandits, cattle wrestlers, and kidnappers and other sordid crimes had made life unbearable for locals in those areas. However, through the concerted efforts of Operation Hadaridaji, Katsina, Accord, and Sehe Sanity, farmers have returned to their farms, while other economic activities are gradually picking up across the zone. And that is all on Standard Voice Business Update. I'm Aguirre.
And on the international scene, some Nigerian students who were stranded in Saudi Arabia due to the restriction of movement caused by coronavirus have accused officials of Nigeria's embassy and consulate office in the country of thwarting their evacuation plans. But the embassy has described the allegation as false and challenged the student to produce evidence to back their claims. In a 4-minute video which has since gone viral on social media, the yet-to-be-identified student said rather than facilitating their trips back home as scheduled by a Saudi airline known as Saudia, the official had allegedly demanded huge amount of money and 80 free seats from the airline as bribe before they can allow the airline to airlift them to Nigeria. According to their narration, they represent more than 300 Nigerian students on Saudi scholarships to study different programs in various universities in the country. Still on the international scene, the United States government advises citizens against traveling to Nigeria. The government published this advisory on the website of its Department of State Bureau of Consular Affairs. The U.S. advised Americans not to travel to Borno, Yobe, and the northern part of Adamawa State due to terrorism. Adamawa, Borno, and Yobe are the 3 states most affected by the Boko Haram insurgency that has claimed tens of thousands of lives since 2009 and displaced millions of others. The U.S. also advises citizens not to travel to Adamawa, Bauchi, Borno, Gombe, Kaduna, Kano, and Yobe State due to kidnappings. That has been the news from Standard Voice Television. To end the news, a quick look at the major headlines. Governor Matawale sends delegation to assess the level of damage in Zurumi flood. President Buhari orders compulsory use of face masks nationwide. Military speaks on alleged Al-Qaeda ISIS inroad into Nigeria. On business, Northwest farmers back to work amid troops operations. And on the international scene, stranded Nigerian student in Saudi Arabia blame embassy for ordeal. That's the news on behalf of the production crew and head of News and Current Affairs Department, Alhaji Ibrahim Garubatunau. I still remain Musa Joy Onyola. Stay tuned.